Good morning, Mr. Pravin from Wipro. Thanks a lot for joining us today in this important podcast. I know you drive a lot of transformational changes within Wipro, and the exciting stuff that you do related to emerging technologies is of big interest for all of us. In that context, I would like to first, of course, thank you for joining here. But we would like to get your opinion on how do you rate the importance of technology adoption to the industry that you belong. And most of us know Wipro as an IT services kind of companies. But tell us a little bit about it, and what are the game-changing influencers that the future of your industry is likely to witness, and how do you see it shaping up?
Thanks, Anand. I think it's my pleasure being here. Interesting breakfast roundtable we had this morning. Now, I think few areas which we believe very strongly in terms of what's happening out there is a lot of every industry across today calls themselves as a technology company, right? So adoption of technology is more or less moved to the is become omnipotent, right? And the amount of impact it can have on the way industries function at the core has disrupted and is influencing a lot of those trends there. So whether it is things like emerging tech disrupting processes, emerging tech disrupting consumer behavior, digital native consumer behavior, all of those have a big role in how we see adoption of technology. And as a services focus, once technology itself is realized, the way it can get implemented will vary a lot, and there's infinite potential out there. And that's where I think our readiness to be able to deliver those services out of evolving or maturing technologies becomes an important prime focus.
Very nice, good. So you kind of draw a very important point to see how it evolves. So my next kind of area that I would like to check with you is, how do you prioritize all of these tech initiatives? What is it that you go for, near term, far term, or how do you prioritize it?
Yeah, interesting. I think prioritization becomes a very methodical activity that's required. A lot of times what we do is we have a scan the landscape intensely across what's happening from a early stage technology thinking perspective, a lot of academic relationships, startup engagements, ventures focus, ghost drives there. Once that's happened, we have a methodology defined for and one thing that we've focused on strongly is the convergence of technologies. No single technology is going to play a role there. It's all of those converging to create a high business impact. So when we prioritize, we build thematics around each of these convergence trends that we have been crystal ball gazing. We script industry scenarios around each of those, future of industry of those scenarios, and we build innovation, industry immersive innovation walkthroughs for each of those industry verticals, and take those thematics are typically end to end. So once that thematic starts evolving into a disruption of the industry process and the way technology can drive that, we start investing a lot more in those specific areas. The voice of customer plays a very big role. Thematics workshops that we run, we sort of run by those workshops with a lot of customers. We have more than 400 customers, leveraging our innovation centers annually, and sort of take that feedback and roll it back into where we should put a lot more effort on. The organization structure itself such that we do the H2, H3, within Wipro for a near-term innovation focus, and the CTO themes that we focus on, which are more R&D centered, which are more 2 to 3 years focused, drive that prioritization differently.
Oh, very good. So one of the things, of course, that we had covered during the session earlier was about the interesting work that you do in the lab to simulate different things. Are there any specific industries that you work towards it? I know you mentioned about digital twin and other areas. is it restricted to only one part of manufacturing kind of processes, or do you look up at the entire gamut of industries?
Yeah, I think the focus has always been on where or which industry verticals as an organization we drive highest revenues impacts. So it's the future of a digital bank, future of retail. Look at oil and gas. A lot of core processes around oil and gas, smart manufacturing, utilities. A lot of these industries are where we focused on building thematics around and creating the immersive content workshops for customer engagements.
So far, I've heard a lot of positives about different things that you have done. But I would like to check with you, what is the most significant challenge you face being in the forefront of all the digital initiatives that you're doing?
Yeah, I think that's a important point, because what we're seeing today is the changes are dynamic. Deciphering the change, modeling it, sort of understanding the gravity of that impact of that change is one part of it, right? And that needs a lot more focus, effort, a lot more investments. We've done substantially large build-outs of innovation centers with industrial crops from that perspective. So the learning curves, learning curves are long. The second key thing, I think, when we talk of technology convergence, what we're also seeing is convergence of the creative visualization, gaming, animation industry, 3D modeling landscapes back into the traditional IT world. So we're more or less talking about consumerizing the operations technology today. And a lot of what was done in the operations technology world, we can visualize, we can build, we can control, we can simulate, we can train using consumerized technology, AR, VR, cave environments. But getting those skills together, keeping the digital natives motivated to work in that space, defining, motivating, exciting boundaries for people to work around with, that's a complex challenge.
Okay, very good. Okay. So, lastly, of course, I'd like to check with you, how do you ensure digital initiatives lead to desired business outcomes? Because you earlier mentioned about you look up at ROIs when you prioritize projects. So, I just want to get your opinion on the business outcomes of it.
Yeah, I think again here, since there are two different charters that we focus on. One would be the near-term innovation, which would be customer impact and revenues directly. The R&D centered focuses are less revenue focused. They're more measured on innovation CSAT. We run pretty high innovation CSATs for our customers, and the whole business outcomes are measured largely with how influencing we are in helping customers make tough, bold decisions quickly, and how innovatively we can actually configure and help them understand their space, working in that environment. So a lot of it is driven by a roadmap, driven by being more future ready. The whole concept around outcomes is collaborative, is co-innovation focused, and engagement models are
very good. Thanks a lot, Mr. Pravin. This is a pleasure to kind of get your insights on what's driving change within the Wipro. We really appreciate your presence and your thought leadership on the same.
Thanks, Anand. Pleasure. It's a great experience being with you folks here.
Thank you very much.